Welcome back. The Birds end their losing streak at 5, beating the Dodgers 4-1. First victory out in Dodger Stadium ever outside of the World Series, but first regular season when we're going to go back to Dodger Stadium now. Baseball Hall of Famer Jim Palmer in the Madison broadcast booth. Jim, what was the basic difference between Chris Tillman's effort tonight versus the 3 previous starts?
Well, I think, let's go back to Seattle. They get him 2 runs, I believe, or whatever. But, they pulled a change up across the plate to Seth Smith, who was red hot up there. Be honest, they got a better hitting team, up in Seattle than they do here with the Dodgers. I mean, beating the Dodgers here is, okay, how many runs you can score. They give up by 2.7 per game. So last night the Orioles got 5, but they gave up 7. Tonight, Tillman, it wasn't overpowering, but he used all his pitches, threw a lot of strikes, didn't overreact to a hustle double by Seager, who's stretched his hitting streak to 18 in the first inning, and then a soft single by Adrian Gonzalez. And I think that's one of the keys if you're a veteran pitcher. If you give up a run, that's all he gave, because he would walk Puig, and then he would get a big out. I think Grandal grounded out, I think, to second base. So he got out of the first inning, and then all of a sudden the Orioles come back, and then the one hanging curveball to Manny Machado for a 3-run home run. You get a little bit of a cushion, use all your pitches. They don't run on them. This team doesn't run a whole lot when we talk about the Dodgers. So just a crisper game. If you go back last night, guys, Scope doesn't turn a double play. Vince Scully's talking about, he said, well, if he turned the double play, well, he always turns a double play, but last night, maybe this is part of the 5-run losing streak that the Orioles went through. Everything changed tonight because they pitched well, they played defense well, they got the early lead, and then, of course, they went to Brock, who's an all-star, and Britton, who's an all-star, and that's how you win.
Jimmy, I know the ball club was only down 1 run after that first inning right here, but they seem to have a different personality when they're behind early in a ball game, and that's what I kind of like to see. I know the home run returned tonight with Manny Machado, but the hitting was just a little bit better than we've seen the last couple of days, with kind of the right guys getting the right hits at the right time.
Well, they did, and again, the Dodgers, they pitched real well. Their bullpen, again, 5 1/3, 5 2/3 last night, 5 1/3 tonight without giving up any runs. So you better get the lead, because otherwise you're not going to win. But what I like today is that when we did score, when Manny does hit the home run in the 5th inning off Maeda, we don't give it back. Tillman goes out there, and we talked about it 4 games up in Seattle. When the Orioles tried to come back in those games, they'd always go back out there, whether it was a starter, and the starters didn't go as long as they'd won up there, they'd always get the tack-on runs talking about the opposition. That didn't happen tonight. So, it's a clean game. They needed to win. If they win tomorrow, they will be 4-5. I'm just hoping that Gausman, who has not won, and this is one of the more amazing numbers in baseball, has not won in his last 20 starts on the road, even though he's pitched well, that he'll pitch well. Bud Norris, who's been pitching well, they just traded for him, will have a bad day, and the Orioles will go home victoriously. 4 wins and 5 losses, and kind of take care of business on Friday when the Angels come to town.
Well, Jim, as always, we appreciate your comments. We'll be chatting with you sometime in about 13 or 14 hours as the Orioles wrap up that series in Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Dodgers.